Story at 5, the latest on this hour, at this hour on the earthquake that shook buildings and rattled millions of people from New York to Washington today. The New York governor calling it one of the largest earthquakes on the East Coast in the last century. The miracle, though, no major damage and no deaths.
Yeah, the earthquake today, a longtime Louisville resident who now lives in New York felt that quake. Well, Churchill Downs former media relations manager Lane Gold called this a very strange day. That's because the horse racing radio host found himself live on the air in Louisville during the quake. Gold lives in New York but still hosts the Kentucky Winner's Circle on Radio 1450 with E.J. Clark.
Knew about 2-3 seconds after the shaking started. It wasn't a passing plane or a truck. You could feel this just constant shake and sort of deep shake. You feel it under your feet, over your head. It wasn't just one part of the house. You can feel the whole thing shaking.
Now, Gold lives about 20 minutes from New York City. He said friends in Connecticut also told him they felt the quake. He did tell us he's a little concerned about aftershocks, but is thankful they had no damage in his area.
Well, as you can imagine, cameras from New York to Philadelphia captured the shaking skyscrapers as the tremor began at 10:30 this morning. Thankfully, there were no serious injuries being reported. Most of the calls coming in were about gas leaks or fallen bricks from historic buildings. But New York's major airports did go on immediate shutdown, so runways could be inspected as a precaution. Flights started again at 11:30 this morning. ABC News was in the middle of it all.
The shaking captured on numerous home security cameras across parts of New Jersey. This one in Summit, another in Morristown, and this one in Rockaway. The U.S. Geological Survey confirms the 4.8 magnitude quake was centered near Lebanon, New Jersey, about 50 miles west of New York City.
I called my mom. I was like, Mom, is this an earthquake? She started screaming. She's like, get outside, get outside. And all my neighbors were outside.
President Biden has spoken with New Jersey's Governor Phil Murphy, offering federal assistance to the state if needed.
In a time of crisis, the president is there. To him, I say thank you. And his entire administration, FEMA, obviously, and other branches of government we've been in deep conversations with over the past couple of hours.
The quake also felt across much of New York.
This is one of the largest earthquakes on the East Coast to occur in the last century. So I immediately directed my emergency management team the second we received word of this to start doing damage assessments.
Local station WABC on the air when it began.
So we just experienced an earthquake here in the tri-state area. We're getting calls into our newsroom from Connecticut, Long Island, New Jersey, and of course New York City. People feeling the shock.
There was no reported damage or service disruptions to the New York City subway system and no reports of injuries or major damage to any infrastructure.
Of course, we're still assessing the situation and we'll continue to update the public. And I encourage New Yorkers to check on their loved ones.
Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
Amtrak says there is no impact to its services and it has implemented its earthquake plan, which calls for inspection of critical infrastructure.
And you heard in the story, New York City's subways amazingly kept on running. And one of the city's best known residents with ties to Louisville and Lexington also tweeted out that he was in the middle of it. Take a look. St. John's coach Rick Pitino writing, OMG, was just on a Zoom call with a recruit and an earthquake hit. First ever for me. We have to get this young man now. Well, a lot more from ABC News in New York is coming up at 6:30 after WHAS 11 News. Now, one of our top stories here locally, 3 days after several tornadoes sweep right through southern Indiana and Kentucky. We are still learning new information about them even today. Today, the National Weather Service upgraded another tornado to a more powerful EF2. This is video from our Sky 11 drone in Buckner, Kentucky. You can see many down power lines, houses with large chunks of roof torn right off and debris scattered everywhere. The National Weather Service today says this tornado was an EF2, a more powerful tornado than first thought. That means in our viewing area, 2 EF2s touched down. One in Prospect on Beachland Beach Road right here. And the new upgrade today, Buckner of Oldham County. Prospect winds were 120 miles per hour. The Buckner EF2 with winds of 115 miles per hour.
And Louisville Metro Public Works and the city of Prospect have released their plan for debris removal. It will be collected on April 15th only for the 40059 zip code. All debris has to be separated from trees and branches to home contents. You have to place it curbside and open. Do not bag it in trash bags. Well, we've got an update to a story that we've been closely following for weeks. The Kentucky Department of Education has concluded its investigation into the removal of Nelson County School District Superintendent Wes Bradley.
This has been an ongoing controversy nearly a month after the district school board voted to remove him. WHAS11's Connor Steffens joining us live right now from Nelson County. And Connor, what did the investigation find, and what did the Kentucky Interim Commissioner of Education also decide today on this?
Yeah, Doug, so we're going to get to that in a second, but first, not only will Wes Bradley stay on as superintendent, but following this investigation, the Kentucky Department of Education will now be conducting a review of the school board itself. This, of course, does come just about a month after the district school board vote to remove Bradley. That 4-1 vote came at a March 4th school board meeting where board member Amanda Deaton claimed Bradley was engaging in conduct that has promoted division within the district and resulted in a majority of the board losing trust in him. That was a direct quote from her that day. In today's decision, interim KDE Commissioner Robin Kinney says the department's investigation found the school board, quote, did not provide competent and relevant evidence to support any of the charges against Bradley. The school board has been ordered to take part in the department's management improvement program and will undergo a management review in May. Critics of Bradley say the district's education scores are lower than surrounding counties, but Kinney says district test scores have improved since spring 2022. Now, we've reached out to all the Nelson County School Board members. So far, we've received a statement that is Tracy Bowling, who says, quote, I applaud the decision taken by the KDE and look forward to engaging in constructive discussions aimed at finding resolutions. We also
felt bad for Wes, but I said that he brought this on himself. But I'm disappointed in the state's decision, because now they're going to set in Frankfurt on their little ivory towers, and we're going to have 2 more years of chaos.
Now, while Osborne does disagree with KDE's decision, he says Nelson County residents will all have to accept it in order to move forward. We're live in Nelson County. Connor Steffens, WHAS 11 on your side.
We're finally here the weekend before the big eclipse. The countdown now to the total solar eclipse, 3 days away. Cities along the path of total darkness are preparing to become tourist hotspots.
Yep, from Texas to Maine, eclipse watchers are gearing up for a historic day in the sky. The total solar eclipse will create sudden darkness in the middle of the day for about 4 minutes across 13 states. The phenomenon projected as the year's largest mass travel event in the U.S. Airbnb releasing this visualization of where travelers are booked the night before the eclipse. Guests clearly following the path of totality. Hundreds of schools closing or dismissing early for the day. Local officials expecting heavy traffic. Hillsborough, Texas offering a whole weekend of fun events. Locals say they've been preparing for 2 years to welcome visitors to Eclipseboro.
We ordered 25,000 pairs of eclipse glasses, and there was a moment when we started to think maybe that's not enough, and so we ordered another 25,000 pair.
They're prepared.
Yep.
Local economies will no doubt see a big boost. State of Texas alone could pocket a record $428 million. I don't know, Connie, we've had tornadoes, then we had snow flurries. Now we've got an eclipse on Monday.
Oh, and don't forget we had an earthquake.
Oh, the earthquake. All right, Colleen. Christina's joining us in for Colleen at 5. Can you top that? I know you've just got to deal with clouds.
Well, yeah, thankfully this year, I mean, it could be a lot worse because as we know, we've really seen every type of weather on April 8th. In the past, we've seen it be as hot as 85 degrees just a couple of years ago, as cold as 24 degrees. Thankfully this year, we're not dealing with either extreme, as temperatures are going to be right smack dab in the middle of that. But we've also seen snow, we've seen storms, hail, and several inches of rain on past April 8th. So we're not going to see any of that this year, but we will see some stubborn cloud cover across the Ohio Valley. Many of our local viewing party spots, anywhere from Seymour up 65, Indianapolis over to Bloomington, and Evansville over to Paducah. All of us will have a mix of sun and cloud cover, but hey, temperatures not bad at all. We're going to be climbing into the 70s across the entire entire area. Plan on lower 70s up there in Indy, mid 70s in Evansville, stretching over to Paducah. And French Lick, that's of course where our WHAS 11 viewing party is going to be. I think we're going to give it a high of 74 degrees. Nice warm day for totality. That begins shortly after 3 o'clock. If you're willing and able to travel, though, I would go ahead and head up to the New England area, because that's really the only spot in the country that's going to have 100% perfect viewing conditions for the total solar eclipse on Monday.
Christina, thank you. Don't forget, our live special coverage begins for you Monday at 2 o'clock. You can watch it live here on WHAS 11 and all of our digital platforms. We've made it easy. Go to our website, WHAS11.com, the WHAS 11 app, or the WHAS 11 YouTube channel. You'll find it all there, and WHAS 11 Plus on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Well, take a look at this video captured by our Sky 11 drone showing the ongoing construction of River Road in Ashland Park. Now, Town of Clarksville leaders say they're on schedule to finish by November. That's still 7 months away and is already impacting a small business caught in the middle of the park's improvements.
So Jose Alonso is telling us more on how they've had to change their operating hours to combat the loss of revenue.
If you're driving down Sherwood Avenue onto Riverside Drive, you'll notice this traffic sign saying that the road is closed, but you'll also see the other sign that says the park and the ice creamery are still open and you can go around it to access it. This is one of the ways the town has been helping this local business owner get through the construction. Caught in the middle of this project is Jill Dodson, the owner of the Widow's Walk Ice Creamery. She's trying not to melt under the pressure. Trucks drive past her window every day, but it's not the ones full of customers she's used to seeing. Recently, she's changed her hours of operations.
A 4-day weekend, basically, Friday through Monday, and then I'm closed Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, basically because it's like a ghost town down here through the week, so it really doesn't pay me to turn the lights on.
Jill says thunder over Louisville brings in many tourists who give her a spike in revenue. The town of Clarksville says the construction zone will be closed off, but that the public will be able to visit Ashland Park for the event, something this local business owner looks forward to. In Clarksville, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11, on your side.
And along with the new operating hours, the shop also started a GoFundMe account to help them with a float. The owner hopes to stay open past the 25 years since it's already been established.
Sure, and if you want to help them out, make sure to visit them during their new hours, or you can make a donation. We've got that information on our website, WHAS11.com.